Hi, good evening. My name is Cassandra McDonald. I think in a nutshell, what
What's
you
your
brought,
address, dear?
it is 1885 Taylor Road, apartment 414. Okay. I think that in a nutshell, what we're looking for is some resolve in regards to the process that was used to have the land acquired, as well as what is the solution to the problem with the contamination. I think that's all of our concerns in here, and I think that the problem is we haven't been, people feel that council has not been forthright in stating how this implementation occurred. How did this process start? Because there's ordinances, the council has to approve it and so forth. After the mayor makes the recommendation, council approves it and so forth. And we just think it was a big piece of that process that was omitted. So if council or mayor can elaborate on that, how it came about and how we're going to solve the issue with the contamination, I think we would reach some type of resolve.
When you talk about contamination at a road,
The dump site, yes, absolutely.
Oh.
Absolutely.
All right.
All right, thank you.
Okay, we're moving right along. What is the next?
Minutes to be approved. The agenda review, May 14th, 2015.
I thought somebody changed the agenda.
Yeah, we changed it.
Oh, I'm
Right,
sorry,
right.
legislation.
Legislation. Let's get right to it.
Okay.
Resolution number 3015, second reading. A resolution authorizing the mayor to expand the lease agreement with Dan Ray Construction, LLC, for the East Cleveland Waste Transfer Station located at 1650 Eddy Road, 1610, 1626 Eddy Road, and 1602 Eddy Road, inclusive, East Cleveland, Ohio, for site development that includes excavation, demolition, and landscaping projects. Requested by Community Development, sponsored by Councilor Brandon King.
Discussion. Brandon?
Thank you, Council President. This has been in the committee at agenda review, and it's come before council at its last council meeting. So we've discussed this thoroughly. We've had a representative from Dan Ray here. The mayor has talked, and it's been extended conversation around this legislation. Tonight we also have the mayor here, and we have Tim from Dan Ray Construction here. There's been a number of questions and concerns, and I can answer most of them, or I'll yield to the mayor because he's here if he would like to answer. Whatever your pleasure is.
Okay. The history of the Eddy Road site is it is today the service department, the service garage, the service vehicles with gasoline, rock salt. In the past, it's where the city or a private company transferred trash. Now, trash, meaning garbage, includes food, includes cleaners, includes pretty much everything but paint and tires. That's what trash and rubbish includes. This is the former site where all that trash transfer was done. So this area has had a history of that. In East Cleveland, we wanted to encourage businesses to locate here, and we wanted to allow some of these assets that the city has to generate money. We all agree that that was a good thing to do. What we have in Dan Ray Company is an entity that doesn't deal in garbage, which is food and things like that that can spoil and attract other bad things, materials that could be dangerous to people's health. They don't deal in that. They're not supposed to deal in that. What they deal in is demolition and construction materials. So aluminum, wood, construction materials that are recycled from things where you see houses demolished and the materials are recycled. That's what Dan Ray deals in. They don't deal in trash. They don't deal in things that spoil. They're not supposed to deal in things that contaminate. There are agencies set up to deal with that. The Environmental Protection Agency and the city and building and housing, we regulate those types of things. They've been doing it there for about 8 months, and they've experienced some success. Now, prior to their doing it for 8 months, the city council was presented an option to allow this business to lease. Dan Ray made a presentation, city council voted on it, they therefore had the permission to operate this business. It's been at Eddy Road. After some success, they want to expand. This lease, this piece of legislation tonight, is to allow Dan Ray to expand the footprint, the physical footprint of their operation in where it currently is at Eddy Road. And Eddy Road, again, has the history of being the place where garbage was transferred. Today, it's not garbage, it is construction and demolition material. So council, as far as we can go, to the question of royalties, Dan Ray is paying lease payments. There are no royalties, meaning something from the profits or something per ton. In the past, there were royalties when it was operated as a trash or garbage transfer. Every time the truck tipped, there was a tipping fee or a royalty. There is none of that now. It is a straight lease with Dan Ray paying to the city a certain amount every month. And again, this is an expansion of the agreement the council approved probably 8 months or so.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
There was a question raised that I would like maybe Dan Ray to respond to if it's appropriate. I made notes for some of the people who spoke earlier. That was construction already being done before we approved the expansion. And I'd like to have that responded to because I think it's a legitimate question that needs to be answered. So if it's proper, Council President, to have Dan Ray come and speak to that so we deal with this thing intelligently and factually. Thank you.
Good evening, council members. Good evening. Thank you for inviting me. In response to the question as far as construction is on the site, at this particular time, we have been granted by the city to make minimal improvements to the site. When we first arrived at the site, there were things that needed to be cleaned up. There were old tires. As a result of that, you know, when you stack old tires up, rats are in them, you know, different types of insects, bugs, which causes a problem. Before, the county, I think, was aiding the city in trying to, you know, resolve this problem. But when we got there, we took it upon our own to go ahead and clean the facility up. The demolition that you see going on at the site right now is some demolition of old, dilapidated buildings that were ready to fall down, actually. So what we did, we demolished those buildings, we cleaned up the site, and we are still in the process of doing that. And that's probably what most of you see today. We try to keep it to a minimum. Most of our operations are to the rear of the facility, so nobody actually sees it, you know, being done on the street side of things. We try to keep the dust to a minimum. We try to keep the construction noise down so that nobody, you know, is bothered. There are some residents across the street which live there, so I've had a chance to talk to them and you know, explain the situation to them, what we're doing at the site at this particular time. You will see our vehicles moving in and out of the site. We have begun to use it, and as the mayor brought out, we are recycling the construction materials there. 2x4s, old doors, ceiling materials, which is brought into the site, automatically recycled and carried out of the site. We normally like to do this within a 48 to 72 hour period, so that it doesn't, so that there's not a large amount of it on the property at any one point in time. We really haven't had any complaints, you know, to this point, as far as the facility is concerned. And please don't get our facility mixed up with the Noble Road facility, because what they're doing over there on Noble Road, I have no idea. I don't know what they're doing over there. I took a look at it, and that facility And I don't know if they're calling it a transfer station or exactly what they're doing over there, but, you know, that's between them and the city. But as far as our operations are concerned, you know, hopefully I've explained it where everybody understands pretty much.
What about, just for clarification, the demolition that you're doing right now, is that in order? Is not a violation of any law or anything like that in terms of what you're doing?
No, sir. No, sir. We were given permission to demolish the buildings. It's within the current footprint that we are leasing from the city at this particular point. In fact, the city also encouraged us to help them, you know, to take down the facility because it was almost falling down. The expansion that we currently want includes some buildings that are dilapidated. I mean, they're ready to fall down. I don't know how long they've been standing there. From my understanding, they have been existing for a long, long time. I had a chance to look in one of them, and I tell you, it's a lot in there. So again, we have to go in there, clean it out. We also have to remove all the asbestos. Evacuate the building, move all the asbestos out, and then tear it down. And then what we plan on doing is rebuilding on the street side something that is what they call a streetscape, which is it will have curb appeal. And I think that most of the residents will be happy with what we're doing. Right now we are doing all the blueprints, all of the necessary things that we have to do, to present it to the city planning committee so that they'll be able to approve it. So I'm sure that along this process you'll be kept well informed.
I'd like to say one thing. Go ahead.
Just for clarification, Dan Ray, the building for your expansion, in terms of legislation 3015, the building is still standing, you haven't torn down because it's... No.
The city has not given me permission to do that yet.
And that's what we're going to be voting on now for you to do that.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
I want to explain also to Mr. Dan Ray, don't go nowhere. You're still on the hot seat. I want to explain that many years that building, both of those buildings have been standing there on the edge of Eddy Road, just when you're going to go to Hayden. We had an engineer, Mr. Breccatelli, who for years has come to the council or asked for money to tear down those buildings along there because they were a health hazard and it needed to come down. But the money was not there to give to anyone. We've had other individuals come in, and one guy was going to wanted to get involved with the waste transfer, but something happened and he couldn't follow through. Also, I want everybody to know that I don't live up on the hill. I live right around the corner from the waste transfer station, right near Patterson Park. So I live in the valley, and I took a tour when they first was beginning to do all of this. I took a tour. I wanted to know what was happening and why it was happening. Not only did I take a tour, but I had my clerk and myself go through, and I'm sorry to say, I'm not sorry to say this, but I'm proud to say that we went through his history, his reputation, and everybody that we talked to said he was a straight up guy and he did business according to ethics and all those situations that needed to be done. So when I vote, I will be voting not with my conscience, but I will be voting because I feel that there is not a fear of this area. I do have a concern about the other area, and I don't want people getting that area mixed up with what's going on down here. Because we were talking about 3015. And when that other area comes up, or it's not on our agenda, I will be talking about that also. That area was not supposed to be what it turned out to be. When we voted, when this council voted, we voted exactly on what was in the legislation for that property. That individual sold that property and brought in something else. And we will be dealing with that. I just talked to the person today. So, but that in essence is what we did for Dan Ray's area. I want to thank the council.
One comment.
Oh, yes.
Thank you. Thank you for taking on the challenge of coming into the city and helping us get the service area together.
It's my pleasure. Thank you.
Are we ready to vote?
Yes.
Madam Chair.
Counselor King,
Yay.
Counselor Martin,
Yay.
Counselor Wheeler,
Yay.
Counselor Thomas,
Yay.
passes.